Hello, and welcome back to Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast in which we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate the Star Wars movies, 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
I'm Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
And today, we are talking about Minute 2 of Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. I almost keep wanting to say Episode 11 because it's our 11th movie, but it's Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker.
This one does not go to 11.
No. I mean, it does, but not really. We just made 9 louder. Anyway, Minute 2 starts with Meanwhile and ends with Mustafar.
The two M's.
So, from Meanwhile to Mustafar. Look, hop back into the crawl for a second. We end with the crawl. The third paragraph of the crawl is like, Meanwhile.
Mm-hmm.
And it's letting us know that Kylo Ren is on his way to find the source of this transmission.
Yes.
And so this
and
is
that he's ruling the galaxy.
Yes, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren.
Mm-hmm.
But so, all right. Twofold here. One, character motivation. He's not, Palpatine's returned. Let me go find him and we'll, together we can rule the galaxy. No. Palpatine's returned. Let me go kill him so that I'm the only Supreme Leader.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not seeking him out to being like, I can learn more from these. It's purely kind of, Sith jealousy, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Not a Sith,
or
but yes.
Pseudo-Sith, yeah.
Yeah. Sith light. Neo-Sith.
But then also, so let's back and look at the crawl here, because it's an interesting, the capitalized words. Sometimes this comes into play where it's weird, like, why did they capitalize that?
Mm-hmm.
Revenge,
Mm-hmm.
capitalized. Emperor Palpatine.
And when you say capitalized, you mean all caps.
All caps, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Some of the words are capitalized, but all caps.
Uh-huh.
Revenge, all caps. The Emperor Palpatine, all caps. General Leia Organa, all caps. We can start calling her Glow, G-L-O. Rey, R-E-Y. Rey. First Order, all caps.
Uh-huh.
And then in this minute, Kylo Ren. But not Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. So General Leia Organa, all caps, General, caps.
Uh-huh.
Supreme Leader? No, just Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. It's an interesting difference in tone there that maybe, leads me to believe at least that maybe that's not a permanent title there.
You don't think the Whills are not recognizing him?
Right.
They're not granting
the
him
Whills
the
are
title
like, well, I know
Supreme.
what a general is, but Supreme.
This is outrageous.
Yeah. But
they
yeah,
should have had it in quotes. That's what they should have. They should have put quotes around
Supreme Leader.
Yeah. They also refer to him as Phantom, the Phantom Emperor. I like that also because that's
harkening back to
two callbacks to the prequels in the opening crawl between Revenge and Phantom.
Right.
It's a shame they couldn't put attack in there somewhere
yeah.
or clone or something like that. But
yeah.
Boy, who'd ever thought I'd be pushing for more references to Attack the Clones in my Star Wars, but there we are.
Remember, the prequels serve best as references and not movies. So if we want to throw in references to them, that's great. I like that.
Yes.
But yeah. So that we're laying out basically what first it's like, all right, Palpatine's back. Hey nah. And then it's like, all right, Leia's sent out some people to,
secret agents
to figure out what's up, and also meanwhile,
the halls of justice.
Kylo Ren is off to find
the Phantom Emperor,
the Phantom Emperor, to take him out. So, really, everybody's on the same page here.
It's it's
like a team up.
It's a mad world. That's what it should have been. All these people going to look for, or like Cannonball Run, I think.
Right. There you go. I that would be interesting if, what do you think about this plot for the movie? If the setup is, and again, we'll get into that shortly, I guess. I don't know when to talk about the. I guess we'll save it for later in the week. But if the movie, instead of unfolding the way it does, if the movie was broadcast of the Emperor saying he's, back and he's more powerful, and then it was literally like everybody kind of trying different ways to get to him. They have to split up. You get the parallel action. Everybody's finding different allies and finding their way. Then you still get the stuff with like finding a map and going this way, and people are, all of a sudden meet back up with each other, and they all get to the very end. They get to the source of the transmission, and it's just like it's the
Voyager probe.
Yeah, basically, it's like the captain's log thing from Emperor's Throne in Death Star 2, and it's just like some kind of there's like a porg has nested in the recorder, and now that's causing it to play back over and over again. It's kind of a callback to the help me Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope, except it's just the Emperor being like, I am in it could even be one of his actual lines from Return of the Jedi.
I like it.
Talking about how he is now in control of the galaxy.
Yeah.
But it just happens to be broadcast from everywhere.
Well, I like it because then it would end with literally everyone gathered, all the cast gathered around to hear it.
Right.
And then once it was revealed that it was just a kind of wah-wah, then it would just be a battle royale of all these characters fighting, trying to kill each other.
You don't think? No, yeah, I guess so. And then you have one some people escape. I wanted to end like some like It Hot, where you get like then everybody, it's like this giant battle royale, but then like a couple of our main characters, let's say like Rey and Chewie or somebody get in a boat and escape from the wreckage of the Death Star with like an Ewok or something who's like driving the boat, and he's just like
Joey Ross is the Ewok.
Yeah, exactly. Joe Ewok.
The other alternative
would be the target for that joke that we just made.
The other alternative would be if they all got there and then it was Palpatine's message, but then Palpatine's message would be that the treasure was the friendship they all made to get to this point. See,
exactly.
By working cooperatively, it showed that they were really all on the same side, and then that's how it would end.
Yeah,
I like it. Let's do it.
All right. It's a star war.
That's a great idea.
Anyway, the opening crawl ends, and we get our opening shot of space. And I love that we get a kind of moment where we hear TIE fighters before we see them, and that sound is so iconic that we just know what's going on, and we kind of pan down and we see like, wow, which is great. And TIE fighters are approaching a Star Destroyer, and the Star Destroyer is in orbit around Mustafar, which thankfully it doesn't tell us that Rogue One style. I don't want a little thing letting it, like, I didn't know it was Mustafar until like reading about it a while later, because it doesn't matter. Who cares? Now, I think there are other ways to, if they wanted to really like hammer it, we'll get into this tomorrow. Once we get to the surface tomorrow, we'll talk about this. But as in terms of opening shots go, it doesn't strike me as, I feel like there could have been something a little more, like pan down to see the planet first and then hear the TIE fighters and then come over it or something like that. You know what I mean? Graphically, visually, it's not that interesting of an opening.
I was going to say the same thing. I think it looks beautiful. It looks very much like a sci-fi magazine cover with that cool...
Once it resolves, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the way it is presented is not especially clever compared to traditionally the opening shot usually has something where it's like it's a very standard, it's a very, exciting way to present it compared to some of the other things we've seen before, where it's like an overhead shot or a silhouette or some kind of cleverness where Luke's hand floating in space. Any of these things are
Yeah, overall, I like the way it resolves, but I wish they would have gotten there differently. Like, I like hearing the TIE fighters. I like once the tableau is set, you have the Star Destroyers and TIE Fighters kind of in orbit around Mustafar. It looks neat, but how we get there is just uninteresting.
Yeah, it's just you pan down and they're there.
All right, so complaint 1 from me. There you go.
Okay.
Chalk 1 up. I guess
you get 5 complaints for the whole movie.
I'm going to use them all up. Well, I'll save some for the end too. But
yeah.
But yeah, so we don't learn this yet. Well, I guess some of this can say that we don't really get much of the action. We just kind of get panned down to the planet.
Yeah, just see the
or tilts down to the planet, rather.
Yeah.
So maybe we should save notes on action till tomorrow. Should we go back to open up the fridge, pull out the quiz?
Sure.
All right.
I'll pull out the quiz. Before I do that, I just want to something I found while researching this minute, and it really has nothing to do with this minute. But have you ever heard of the movie The Bubble? Apparently,
sounds familiar.
It's a Netflix movie. I was looking up to see what the cast had done in the meanwhile, and this was a movie that Daisy Jazz Isabel Ridley was in, and I feel like you should see it because it sounds like it's right up your alley.
I remember it coming out, I think.
Yeah. It's a Judd Apatow movie, it turns out. It's but that's not why. It has Pedro Pascal in it, Peter Serafinowicz, John Lithgow. So 4 Star Wars people. And who's the 5th person of interest? Beck. So you should totally see this movie. So
that's true. It does seem like it was made for me.
Yeah. Anyway.
All right.
So this is a quiz. Some of this
I will watch that in between.
Okay.
Maybe not this week, but
it's not between today and tomorrow.
I'll come back with a bubble update.
Yeah. So as mentioned yesterday, I've not seen Rise of Skywalker pretty much since the theater. So I found some of these trivia questions I found. Some of them are ones I made up, but here we go. Which
you made up the answers? Or go ahead.
Some of the answers I made up because they're multiple choice. They're all multiple choice questions. So,
all right.
Which of these pilots is shot down in the final battle? Is it Rex? Is it Snap? Is it Drizzt? Or is it Wedge? Rex, Snap, Drizzt, or Wedge? Who was shot down in the final battle?
I know it is Snap Wexley because right. Or did we lose him already? No. He survived the Force Awakens, so I think we do definitely leave him.
Starkiller Base. Couldn't remember the name of that thing. You are correct. Snap Wexley returns. Makes sense.
Yeah,
JJ
I mean, God forbid JJ make a movie without that guy.
Do you think Greg Grunberg was disappointed he wasn't in The Last Jedi?
No.
Or do you think he knows where his bread is buttered?
No,
he knows.
We got Noah Segan. Noah Segan was the Greg Grunberg of that movie, and
okay. Yeah.
I don't have the same. I don't know why my reaction to seeing Greg Grunberg is so negative, and my reaction to seeing Noah Segan is so positive. Hey, because Greg Grunberg's never been on the show.
Yeah, that's
got to be
our attitude would change radically if he were in fact to appear on the show.
Probably,
sure.
Yeah.
So this one we'll probably guess. We've already discussed it. Which planet hosts the final battle? Is it Exegol, Hosea Prime, Aduba 3, or Pakuni?
Yes, it's Exegol.
Exegol is
planet
correct.
Of Exegol.
What is the name of the gal who leads a group of former stormtroopers in the final battle? Is it Mara, Zori, Jana, or Panera?
It is
Mara,
Jana.
Zori, Jana, or Pereira? You said Jana?
That is Jana.
Correct.
Yeah.
Who gets
part of my I specifically remember because my kids had a set I don't even know what happened to these. I'm sure some of them are still around, but a set of not quite even action figures, the kind of vinyl, Applause used to make a lot of these, where it's a little vinyl figurine that's not quite 3 inches tall, maybe. So not Star Wars figure size, but no pure sculpt, no articulation at all.
Yeah.
Painted basically like a slightly oversized D&D miniature, but made out of vinyl instead of.
Got it.
So I guess somewhere between size-wise, in between a D&D miniature and a Star Wars figure, split the difference, make it out of plastic, but have it kind of, a solid, an unarticulated sculpt with a base.
Yeah.
And we had a set of
Like an
these
army
for Rise of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to answer often I'd be like, who's this? Which one is this? Which one? And so
Yeah.
yes, Janet.
Your kids have not seen Rise of Skywalker. Have they seen any of the sequels?
I think they might have seen Rise of Skywalker.
Okay.
They've definitely read the Golden Book many times.
Okay.
I should get the Golden Book. We should do some
yeah.
I'll add that to my list for my notes for the coming weeks.
Yeah.
We'll contrast and compare with the Golden Book.
Yeah. That'll be the Lee Brackett draft of the.
Well, we got a lot of yeah. So far, we'll see. We'll keep with the quiz. We'll talk action tomorrow.
Okay. Who says I have a bad feeling about this in the film? Is it Poe, Lando, Bimo, or Zeppo?
I believe it's Lando.
Lando is correct.
All right.
Ladonis
Balthazar Calrissian
the third.
Senior.
Who was the leader of the Space Runners and Poe's old acquaintance from back in the day? Is it Zori? Is it Janna? Is it Carrie? Or is it Floby?
Zori Bliss.
Zori Bliss. That's a crazy name for a Star Wars character.
In her Y-Wing fighter. Oh, that's a crazy name for a Star Wars character.
What animals do Finn and his friends ride on the Steadfast at the end of the movie? Are they burdocks, zweebacks, dewbacks, or orbacks?
Orbacks. Like Jerry Orbach.
Jerry Orbacks is correct. Gang, gang. Nobody puts baby Orbacks in a corner.
Just in case anybody was questioning me, they thought I was kidding yesterday when I said I love this movie.
Yeah.
So far, 100%.
Where do we encounter the wreckage of the Death Star? Is it Kefbir, Ludbite, Paylail, or Tasa?
There's a theme here. Some of these answers.
Paylail, or Tasa?
It is Kefbir.
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 That is correct. You're doing great.
Head for the mountains of Kefbir.
Which of these deceased characters do we not see in the film? Han Solo, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Leia Organa Terwilliger Solo, or Luke Skywalker?
Well, Leia starts out the movie not deceased.
That's right, she does.
Yeah. But the actress, of course, is deceased, so it's a technicality. But she is in the movie. All those we do not see Obi-Wan Kenobi. We hear him briefly, but we do not see him.
Yes. I totally forgot that Leia is actually in the movie and not just. I know she shows up in that. I was thinking of that flashback where you see her training Rey. That was right. I forgot that she's actually in the film.
Right.
Unto itself. So. And finally, which of these groups appears in the film? Kanji Club, the Mods, the Knights of Ren, or NSYNC?
I thought I was worried when you said which group. I was like, oh, is this one of those background things where it's going to be like a K-pop act that I don't even know who they are? But no, it is the Knights of Ren.
I recently saw someone online making fun of the monkeys because they were a ripoff of the Beatles. like kind of late with that observation there, bro.
Right. And like that's what it says on the tin.
Yeah.
That's why they exist.
Well, there you go. You got 100% proving you do love this movie.
I do love this movie.
You do love this movie. Pete loves movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there you go. 9 questions and 9 answers, and you got them all correct.
9.
Do you remember seeing the trailer during Celebration? I remember that when you and I arrived at Celebration and like we were on the floor of the show when they played it, and it was like everyone just stopped what they were doing and were like watching it on screens around the room. It was very weird.
Yeah, that was a moment too, because it was like we had just started kind of shopping, and all of a sudden they were just like playing it in the middle of the floor, and like traffic, like you said, traffic stopped. Everybody just turned to do it, and people are trying to kind of angle themselves to get the best position. I don't think we could really see much the first time, and then as people shifted,
Yeah.
But they played it, and then they brought him out, right? They brought
Yes.
Ian McDiarmid came out and was like, "Play it again," or something like that, and they ran it again.
Yeah. Good times.
And that was Chicago, or that was Chicago, I think, right? Because then they didn't. No, that was Anaheim. I know there was one where I think they announced the title in Chicago because they took remember they had the poster up with the entire saga, but with the last section kind of covered up,
blacked
and then
out. Yeah.
they announced the title and revealed the poster art. Not the poster art, but the kind of promotional art for that segment of it.
We all got our first look at D.O.
D.O.
I gotta remember if he was in the poster.
D.O. D.O. definitely is. I don't think he has his own little figurine in that set. I think he rides on Poe's figurine.
That's
maybe.
funny.
No, maybe he does have his own.
I would assume Poe would be paired with BB-8.
Yeah.
Because BB-8's still Poe's droid, right?
Yeah.
Or is he now
technically
Rey's droid? I lost track.
No, well, they'll have. It is still Poe's droid because he gets upset about the way that she treats him sometimes.
Wait, BB-8 gets upset about it?
No, we'll see. We'll find out. It's in dialogue.
Okay.
Well, I think that was pretty much all I had for minute 2. We got action that starts tomorrow, and there's a lot of kind of stuff to talk about. Something that just came up that I forgot what it was. Oh, well, I'll talk about this part now rather than because it's not really germane to stuff that we see on screen. But it's table setting, which is let's finish the table setting here.
Sure.
That according to I don't know, Wikipedia or whatever, but the I don't know, Wikipedia. The events of this film take place. It's been 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
It's been
1
year since the events of The Last Jedi. So we've had a year since that they've escaped the crystal caves and all that stuff, and then the rebellion.
And pretty much 1 year since the events of Force Awakens, because The Last Jedi only takes place over like a day and a half or something.
That's true.
So it's a tight saga.
It is. We don't have those stretches that we did, but 1 year is enough for people to have grown a little bit and develop. They wanted to sit and develop. I think they should have done this. I like it when that happens, when you get a little off time and let characters develop off screen a little bit, so we don't have to sit here and watch them achieve every milestone.
I was really hoping there would be even a bigger time jump, that it would be like 10 years later. And we would see
40 years since.
Well, we would see because when we last saw our friends of the rebellion, they were a pretty sorry shape.
Right.
So,
I mean, they still are to some extent.
Well, but I mean, I'm always a big fan of big time jumps where you see a lot of off screen development happen with the characters. So I was kind of hoping that
big time jumps.
But
we got some development. Rey's trained a little bit. We see, well, we'll get to the action there, but we see that people have different haircuts and outfits.
Totally different haircuts.
That's the character development.
Yeah, but like Poe and Finn don't really they seem pretty much the same.
Different haircut, different outfit. One of them decided to start wearing scarves. Who is it? We'll find out.
It's like Malibu Stacy with a new hat.
Right. But she's got a new hat.
Yeah.
That's
all I got for minute 2.
All right, we'll dive into the action properly tomorrow. One thing we've yesterday we plugged the social media. Today, I think let's jump right into check out our merch store, StarWarsMinute.com/merch, MERCH. That should take you to, I think right now it goes straight to our Threadless store, but we also have a TeePublic store. So if you can't find a design, look, I believe teepublic.com/SWM, I think takes you there. But most of the designs, or all of the designs by this point, should be ported over to our Threadless shop, and you can find them on all kinds of different items, all kinds of different things to put our logo or our Alex has a lot of cool art, Star Wars related art. We've got a handful of these dumb ideas that are in a folder that we might have up by now. And as we go through the season, we're going to keep coming up with dumb ideas that we could throw up there. Beautiful thing about that store, it doesn't cost anything to set up a new shirt. So, like my favorite example is always the 2 different Mitaka shirts that we came up with for Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And it cost us nothing to put them up there, but a couple of people have bought them, and so I'm glad that at least one person was in on the joke for each one. So even if we only sell one shirt to somebody that's not me and Alex, I'm happy.
It's a collector's item.
Yeah. So get out there, check out our t-shirt and merchandise store at StarWarsMinute.com/merch, MERCH. Then hopefully we'll see you all back here tomorrow for a brand new episode of Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.